Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Tranquility for week number 4 here. We will be watching Narwhal Con X versus Obfuscation here. We will be hopping into the map right away, but joining us in the booth tonight is myself, Dextron, and I am joined by Mick Missile. Man, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. I got the lights behind me. It's nighttime, so brought my penguin to, of course, see this tremendous match ahead of us.
Hey, man. I have some stuffed animals sitting over there that are watching me cast this right now. But you know, coming into this match, looking at those records before, we know Narwhal has won one game coming in this one. Looking to improve the record to 500 on the season if they're able to beat Obfuscation tonight. But Obfuscation has yet to win a game at this moment, so they're trying to find that first win.
That's true. And I believe Narwhal is 1-2, so they got to keep their fire going, or they're gonna get put out by Obfuscation. I know they're gonna try and reach their hardest to try and get a win here. It is doable.
Yeah, Obfuscation is a fun word to say. I will mess it up several times tonight. But honestly, when a word means something unintelligible, it's gonna be messed up a lot.
Well, there you go. Makes perfect sense. And then I believe our first map is actually Ilios, so we get to see him make some sense of this map. Oh, Nepal, sorry.
So we were told the wrong thing. We were just apologized to by that. Thank you, Hippie. But yeah, we're going to Nepal first. We've seen Nepal, I believe, last time me and you casted first as well. I believe it went all 3 points.
Nepal's a fantastic map. What's your favorite point on it? Because each one is pretty scenic.
I mean, I'm gonna say Temple's the one with the pit, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one just because you can basically build some comps around just trying to knock people off into it, and I find that really, really funny.
Oh yeah. Oh dude. The Orisa pulls back in the day when Orisa was in the meta. Oh my god. Or from around the corners, trying to go in between those towers, and to this day, you can still find a hog pick, just trying to get that hook.
I mean, you'll always find a hog pick in a lot of these maps. We might even see one come out here tonight, just based off these SRs in this league. But you never know. Like you said, it might be more kind of try to avoid playing to knock people off into that pit, because there are 2 other points in this map.
Oh, that is a really good point to make. These teams will probably play around some more boopage, and then going on to village or the nice, okay. The village one is the one with the giant square in the middle, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This one is a really like Ryan heavy one I've seen, and then they might even play a May as well to like try and cut off these very narrow kind of choke points. But these high grounds, they vary pretty hard from map to map. Nepal is really such a journey. It's basically got one kind of a way of play for each one.
Yeah, you can see different compositions come out on each of these points here. That's why Nepal is one of my favorite maps. But you know, normally we do see Lijiang come out first because it is normally a map that you can do the exact same thing on. It looks like we're gonna be starting here at Shrine.
Nice. Oh, it's called Shrine. Okay, well, this is gonna be pretty fun here. It looks like they're gonna be bringing out a Symmetra TP to start. Try and get to point as fast as possible.
And we're paused. So yeah, like you said, we saw Symmetra coming out, like you also said, it's probably just get that TP, get them to a point a little bit faster. They'll probably swap off to either a Tracer. Probably is the more favorable pick, one we see more often. However, I believe last week we saw a Soldier come out and actually do really, really well.
I mean, Defran would be proud. This map is the one with the little high ground, I believe those hills on the side, so they might be TPing actually up to that high ground to start with, or they might be just trying to go to point and then find their way up through the stairs. The stairs battle is going to be huge for both of these teams. I can already feel it.
Yeah, honestly, whoever is able to get on that point first is really going to control that stairs battle, because they'll have the high ground.
Oh yeah, and the high ground stretches all the way to, like, across the map, so it's going to be one heck of a thing to hold. And once you do get that high ground, trying to hold it is also given to your advantage, because you can just move so fluidly throughout the map with that.
Yeah, but you know, we talked about the teams a little bit going into this one. Do you have a prediction? What team are you gonna cast a curse here tonight?
I'm a big fan of the definition of obfuscation. I'm not gonna say the name right. Obfuscation, but I am a fan of the Narwhals, and I do want to see him just pull off. But you know, yeah, I'll stick with the Narwhals, and I'll let Obfuscation make it not make sense if they win here.
I'll go with Obfuscation here, so that we don't have a whole caster's curse put on one team. And I do believe Obfuscation here could pick up their first win tonight. I just want to see how they come out.
I believe in them too. I just, you know, I wouldn't really be too sad if they happen to fall out.
Kind of
But
mean.
no, but sorry, but GLHF is what I do say in the comp game, so I throw it out for the both of these teams pretty equally here.
Yeah, but still. All right, so sounds like the problem is a little bit bigger than what we originally thought. So we're going to take a short break and be right back with the start of Narwhal Connex versus Obfuscation. Right, welcome back, everyone. Looks like the problem is finally fixed, and we're finally gonna be able to get started with this game.
CPU's coming out. Oh, all right. They're going straight for the point. It looks like both teams having a mirror.
Yeah, and it's actually it's really interesting to see both teams coming out and sticking with their Symmetras right now on point. I guess they want to try to find as much damage as they can. Crunchy Poo almost getting completely melted down. They're still very low, taking a lot of damage right now. Still being able to stay alive right now. However, we finally see Classy take them out right there. And already a shatter pops out from the Narwhals right now. And this should be first team fight and point going over to them right now. But Obfuscation is doing a good job of trying to contest a losing battle.
Wow, what a fight. That was a war. That was a 29-second shatter as well. Obfuscation's Decrypt Baptiste coming up on window as well. That was one heck of a Symmetra duel, and looks like they're gonna keep it to him. Trying to get rid of these lasers is probably gonna be the first priority, and then kind of moving in on that Symmetra dive. But Lavender does have barrier, even though Obfuscation does have that high ground.
Yeah, but imagine we're gonna see Reaver pop that damage next here. Actually, here comes the TP. They're gonna TP behind them right now. Storm Sniper's gonna stay up here on high ground as that barrier does come out. Pretty much gonna stop all the damage from the majority of Obfuscation there. But they pop their own damage mixer, trying to find any little thing they can. Storm Snipe, a little bit out of place, falls first into this fight, so Obfuscation are already losing one really early on. It seems like Classy is just deciding to hold W and left click and walk straight into them right now. He has another shatter before Crunchy is able to get one, and look at this, Narwhal is going in.
Sheesh. I mean, heck, dude. Obfuscation trying to get out at least one ultimate, but dude, that was another fantastic shatter from this Reinhardt. Looks like he's leading the charge in these kind of upfront duels, these head-to-heads, trying to let the Symmetra do more of the backup work to the kind of sights to his demises. Both teams coming up on ults though.
Look at this Reaper, already close to another damage mix. They used that in that last fight. Decrypt used theirs in their last fight too. They're not even at half yet right now, but the shatter first rush has to be huge. It is huge! It finds 4! This could be the thing that Obfuscation was looking for. High New gets popping up, does not find anyone, and that shatter, which was huge, has gained them nothing right now. And instead, Narwhal is starting to stabilize the fight. Here comes the damage matrix and the barrier coming up. Lavender finds one. 3 straight kills for them. They get the D-Mech, and Narwhal absolutely just laying waste to Obfuscation right now.
This is the third shatter now for Classic Crew, but holy smokes, what a support lineup right there for both teams. That beat actually got off before the rest of the damage from that shatter could actually really kill the rest of them. That's how they were able to regroup and keep themselves in the fight for so long. So props to them, but wow, that was just a beam of a match. Like,
yeah, that was essentially a speed run there on the shrine point of Nepal. Narwhal won that first team fight very quickly and then never gave up the point.
Yeah, every time they try to get in, once it looks like they're both going to be running it again. So I guess taking control of the point first matters quite a lot as we could pass you those getting rid of those Symmetra things. So I think both teams switching to a Mei now. That's going to actually help in not only destroying the turrets but also kind of cutting people off and taking kind of control. So here's the high ground matchups from both teams.
Yeah, it looks like Obfuscation is going to go up to the high ground, actually TP, and go actually through the low ground instead. Narwhal looking to do the exact same thing, but they held on to TP there for the actually TP a lot closer to the point. We saw Rin there throw their turrets on point, and they actually have Classic right there walled off. They're able to find the first kill there. No shield left for Narwhals now. This is the Obfuscation's best opportunity here to get something going, but Ringleader finds their own Ryan. Rin, though, comes right back and finds Race. Obfuscation is winning this team fight at the moment, and they should be able to get this point.
These Mei rolls coming off people really handily here. That's actually an ingenious maneuver. It looks like both Sims are coming up on lots of charge for their beams and already coming up on Rin for a barrier. This is going to be crucial for this fight.
Yeah, here comes the barrier from Rin. It's a good one. Rin finds Classic, and now the D-Mech comes onto Ringleader, and Obfuscation starting to do what we saw Narwhal do on that first point of just absolutely melt anyone from Narwhal that came close to that point.
Reaper, what an unfortunate stagger. Narwhal coming up on 3 pretty important ults here. Starting it off with the window gives him a lot of room to not only destroy barriers and people, but specifically the Mei walls for what Storms might try and throw up in. Although Obfuscation is coming up on that Ryan shatter, so it's going to be kind of hard to try and find an opening here. You got Narwhal's got to start this fight with their horn.
Yeah, it looks like a TP onto the high ground here. Obfuscation knows they're up there. They're trying to figure out which side they're going to fall down on. And here we go. Damage message comes out. It's a huge one. Doesn't do a lot of damage. Here comes the damage message from Obfuscation as well. Not getting a lot of use out of it either right now. Bomb coming out from Ringleader. Will it find any? No, it actually goes into that center. Shatter comes out from front. I believe only able to find a couple. Shatter also comes out from Classic. It does find a couple, but the Blizzard from Storm Snipe is keeping them in this fight. However, Lavender's beam is level 3, and it is melting Obfuscation right now.
Classic Crew's shatters are historical, it seems. I mean, it looks like he really is leading the charts on these fights, and getting your mail up is going to be huge for this fight when Eski doesn't really have a beat. But again, Narwhal really playing around this Reinhardt phenomenally here. I think actually it's throwing off Obfuscation a little bit, trying to target the Sim, but if you end up finding out really quick that although Lavender chills at level 3 beam half the time, the rest of the damage coming in from the team is really what's driving these fights. Looks like they're going to go take that same high ground strat from last fight.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do what Narwhal did and try to fake around which side they're going on. No, they're going straight across. Narwhal's ready for it. The wall comes up, kind of blocks Obfuscation's team a little bit. Blizzard now comes out from Race. It catches 3 in it. Already 2 down for them. They're looking for a third. Lavender's trying to find it. They actually do find a third there. Crypt does find Classy, but that's really it for them as Narwhal completely team wipes them right there.
They're just wrapping these teams up, making their way to that 77% that Obfuscation set. Looks like they're gonna have 3 ults coming up for almost both sides. The Narwhal tanks are actually gonna be coming up on ults about the same time, which could come in really handy for these next upcoming fights, especially when you got a window to start it off with. Maybe try and get a fire strike kill. Looks like they're going in the same way again.
Yeah, on that high ground, looking to do what the Narwhals did on theirs. They showed their hand there. Fire strike comes through. Both damage vectors being popped there. The barrier, though, coming out for Obfuscation right now. However, they're backing away from it. Even with that barrier up, they're not want to come on point. Shatter comes out from Classy, who dies for using it. Now the barrier comes up for Noir. Here comes a bomb from Ringleader, keeping him off the point. Actually, both Divas threw their bombs on point, and both Divas died from it. Rin able to find Lavender. Reaper finds Crypt. But we are seeing the Sim turrets from Obfuscation melt Race there a little bit. Now going after Lady Mela. They're finally able to get rid of them there. However, we do see Classy come back and find Rin. Both Ryans are back in the picture right now. Classy absolutely getting rid of Krun there for a moment as Narwhal just continues to pick up kill after kill. Storm falls. The Diva of Middlear is back. They're gonna get D-Max. Here comes, I believe that was Baby Diva there, but it won't matter. They die, and Narwhal will take the first map in Nepal.
Wow. Narwhal is really living up to the kind of fanciful fighting tactics that they can use with their horn right there. That was over a phenomenal or playing around the Symmetra. Lavender especially, like you can see in this play probably, but yeah, that first slam, you can see the absolute synergy between the tank lines here. And overall, it wasn't not only the Reinhardt and Symmetra kind of synergy here for this fantastic game from Narwhal, but also you can see the way the Diva works in those scenarios, because as all that really stable fights happening, you know, people very slow, people very fast, very set. The Lucio and the Mei on that on that second round. You could really see how well the Divas for each team came into that cruciality, because dipping in and out, dipping over the walls, dipping around the corners, especially for that map, makes it a really hard thing to play around if you're a little Symmetra with 200 HP. You got the Diva in your face when you're trying to play tight with the team, so you could really see how even those subtleties could really be grandly explained with the Narwhal comps here.
Yeah, especially there on that last point of Village, we saw the Divas basically, in my opinion, it looked like they were just kind of there trying to eat up as much damage as they could when that damage matrix came up from either side. We saw it there with those last two damage matrices that came up. I believe it was the Diva for the Narwhals that was literally the only character standing on point while everyone else was respecting the damage matrix up. But the Diva for the Narwhals was just sitting there, damage matrix up, just trying to eat anything that came through, just so that nothing would potentially take out a player for their side.
It was a pretty phenomenal play, and I guess Obfuscation, they tried, I think, the same kind of tactic like 3 times, going above that point, dropping down on one side, and overall I do support that. I mean, heck, I haven't seen that in my comp games in a hot minute, but you could really see how Narwhal each time was able to play around it really well, and like they could back up to a corner. They were really good at holding corners again, and then wrapping around how they wanted to, playing around the Lucio boosts, the speeds and stuff, really countered the Mei almost, I want to say alone, but overall the coordination is phenomenal from Narwhal. Really good at holding those maps.
Yeah, really, really good. Narwhal, though, looking like the dominant team so far. Obfuscation, though, was able to find a little bit of momentum at the start of Village. However, once they gave up the point, it was a lot like the first point on Shrine. They never got it back, and Narwhal is just completely dominant there from there on out. However, we know our second map now. 2 more weeks left of Overwatch 1 means 2 more weeks left of 2 CP. I will dearly miss it. We're going to Volskaya.
Volskaya, not bad, not bad. You know, whenever I play my gambles at the map queue, whenever I get Anubis, it's kind of a very different feeling from Volskaya. Almost like the opposite. And I guess one is a desert and one is a winter map. But which do you prefer?
Honestly, I prefer Volskaya a little bit more, but it's mostly because I'm a sim main, so.
I also prefer Volskaya. Anubis is the first map I ever played on in Overwatch, or saw played on in Overwatch, so I guess like that's in my heart. But Volskaya is just so fun to play. Like, it's a free opportunity to play Reinhardt, in my eyes.
Yeah, but you know, we're going to Volskaya now. We could see, you know, some sim strats come out again on this map. Some people like to TP straight to the high ground right by a point. Some people love to TP to the area just left of the point. But at the same time, it's really only a one-time use on that strat, and then you have to swap off. So what would you normally expect to see on a Volskaya?
Well, both teams were actually super favoring that sim, and they stuck with it all the way through. It ended up like looking at like whoever held the point first actually got it, just because both teams seems to play their comp really well. So if we do see a sim again, they might actually try that far left flank, you're saying, but and then they might go to that high ground, maybe even wait to attack to TP again to another location. So they might TP twice before starting a fight, which I think would be fun to see. But yeah, probably a sim hope.
Yeah, that's an interesting strat. I've never seen it or heard. I've never seen it done or heard it really before, but it is a very interesting strat. But honestly, though, looking at the tank line here, you can always see a lot of different tank lines come out, especially on the first point of defense. Because if you're coming out on defense first and you can hold them on that first point without even getting a tick, it makes it a lot easier for you on the offensive end. So when looking at the tank line, what do you expect to see coming out from them?
No, that's a really good point. You could actually play Winston reverse dive on defense. You can play dive on offense. You can go Ryan Zarya, which you know the Volskaya map. But we probably see a Reinhardt, and they all really liked playing a diva as well. So we might actually just see a Ryan diva, unless one team wants to take it further and go a full dive or go full Ryan Zarya or something kind of toe to toe like that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I've seen some weird things work. I've seen some weird comps work on this map before. I've seen ball comps work. I've seen hog ball work before.
Yeah.
Something you just don't expect to work on paper ends up working real well, because I believe it kind of throws the other team off a little bit, and it just takes them a minute to kind of realize what's going on.
Oh no, a hog could work fantastically. I do love seeing hogs try and dip each other on any map, I guess, but on Volskaya especially, because you can like the way that Volskaya is, you can everyone in a fight can see the fight happening really clearly. So when getting those highlight reel hooks is it feels special on this map.
Yeah. But looks like we are going into the map. Looks like Narwhal, winners of the last map, so they got to choose what side they wanted to be on. Are going to start on the defensive side here first. Now, I always say that is the way to go with it. What is your opinion on that, though, Mick?
Defending first.
Yeah.
I like that. It sets. It's kind of like you're defending not only the point right now, but you're kind of defending the victory you just got from from last game, right? You're really trying to like put a name for yourself and really make Obfuscation read it, you know, because they got to attack. So it looks like they're actually gonna go a double shield with Ash Hanzo for a setup on the attack.
Yeah, just look at these two compositions that they're coming out with right now. Two completely kind of different styles coming out here. Seeing an Orisa come out on the offensive side is actually a little bit surprising, because I would normally think she's better as a defensive tank on this first point.
I will as well, but it looks like they're gonna try and use the orb to try and like suck it in for their DPS probably, and then let Sigma kind of take advantage of pushing forward. It is gonna be tough though against the same comp that Narwhal's running from first lane.
Yeah, but look at this. They already getting some success out of it. They find Classy out, so no big shield left for Narwhal. However, will we see Obfuscation finally come in the air? They're able to take out Race as well, and now we start to see him come through that choke point and start to dive in on the remaining members of Narwhal right now. Ringleader getting very close to getting demeched. Actually will get demeched here. Jumps down. Nice dynamite there from Storm. Rin able to find Reaper right now, and right now, look at this Obfuscation looking like a completely different team than what we saw on the first map.
Wow, they swapped to their comfortable characters. They swapped to their roles. That was fantastically conveyed from a Portal Stagger from Lavender. But Narwhal running that same comp as the first game, just I seem to have more of a footing against Obfuscation, but I guess going toe to toe is exactly what Obfuscation had in their sights, and really taking advantage of the utility that everyone can provide, taking advantage with the range that their DPS can do, the discords, and the way you can move with your tank lineup really sets the DPS up for a lot of success. You can see both sides switch, Lavender switching off to a Genji and a Monkey, but Obfuscation coming up on a couple of ultimates.
Yeah, this is one thing that I'm kind of worried about for Narwhal now. They made half their team made a swap, so now half their team is a long way away from ultimates. And Obfuscation's about to have all of them. They're popping the damage picture here. Narwhal's gonna respect it, play around the corner, wait for it to go away, but this is Obfuscation's time to strike right now. Here comes the Graviton Flux. It catches two out. The Dragon comes in as well. Finds Classy, who has really not been able to play a lot on this map so far. But Obfuscation now continuing to keep up this pressure to get the DMAC onto Ringleader. They're starting to build up some percentage on that point, and look at that, they're picking up kills. Already one tick in the book, looking for a second one, and they're looking for a large time bank right now. The swap coming out from Classy now on a ball. He's their last ditch effort, but with that, we might be looking at over 4.5 minutes in the time bank. Obfuscation completely steamrolled Narwhal.
Holy smokes! Narwhal came up on one ultimate, I think, and I do think switching up the comp was a good move. It was costly though, and you could see how that kind of fell out. But Obfuscation, really, you're talking earlier about the different tank lines that people do. I was not expecting Sigma Ursa on the attack. but you could really see the utility that those tanks provided for their team. I've never in my days seen a coordinated grab Flux with, Flux with the Hanzo Dragons. That was a really good move, and although even if it didn't get too much value, it definitely made the positions where exactly Obfuscation wanted to. They could move Decrypt and Acrimony where they wanted to. Having that Orisa shield and Sigma shield are actually really specific. You can position each one to each of your own teammates, and that really just even further boosts the value of the kind of comp Obfuscation are sticking to run with on the defense.
Yeah, and honestly, they're not really making any changes. Like you said, they're coming out with the same thing they attacked with. And look at Narwhal. They're coming out with a pharmacy combo, a dive. Actually, just it looks like they want to try to get to that choke point as fast as they possibly can right now and try to get their way through it. That pharmacy, while I would say it's good in most cases, when you look at Obfuscation's lineup here, it is not a favorable matchup.
Well, it's definitely going to be one heck of a fight here. I am a fan of Narwhal. It looks like they're actually going to just try and full counter Obfuscation, but we are going to see these utilities come out from Obfuscation and how they can really damage anyone out of position for Narwhal, even for a moment.
Classy getting hit there by a boulder as they walk through the choke point there, and I like what Obfuscation's doing here. They're playing very far back, and they're kind of split up right now. So they're trying to get our Narwhal Hook to commit to a side. Acronomy almost able to get a force kill or a push kill off the map there. However, they're able to stay on the point, or on the map right now. Narwhal still diving in. We see Classy jump in there. Ringleader follows them. Race is right there as well. Able to find the first kill there, but Ringleader gets demeched. However, look at that. Classy finds two. The Dynamite does find Ringleader, but I believe the damage has already been done here for Narwhal right now. Only that Sigma and that Hanzo up there right now. We do see Lady Mela revive Ringleader. Classy still going in. Purple up on that high ground will pretty much eliminate the rest of the people up there as Classy takes out the rest of them as Race cleans up the last person there for Obfuscation.
Obfuscation tried their best. Wow. They really paid to their strengths on the high ground. They really try to space everyone out. They try to take advantage of how far the Narwhal would have to dive and the time you could shoot them in between that. But Obfuscation not walking away unsuccessful necessarily. They do have that Dragons and they're coming up on Trans, which are very defendable for this Narwhal's upcoming attack. But Narwhal again playing such a dive heavy comp against a not so dive heavy comp. We're gonna see how that plays out here.
Yeah, but when you start looking at the time bank right now, you realize there's only about a 40-second difference, so the time is now. Classy, though, does find Storm and finds Grunt. They're going in right now. They're trying to clean this up as fast as we saw Obfuscation do it. Classy finds 3. He's going after 4 right now. They find 4. Here comes Mirage. That's a team kill, and we might see an even faster time than what Obfuscation put down.
Oh, wow. Both teams just making it such a tremendous downfall. It looks like they're still gonna try and stagger. They swapped the ball, swapped the Tracer, swapped the Doom, and it's still looking not to be enough.
Rin, though, on point with that Tracer. Starting to see some members of Obfuscation come back. They will at least keep the time lead for this. That's a small victory for them right now. Decrypt is actually able to get off an ultimate here. Not able to find anyone with it just yet, but it does do a decent amount of damage. Reaper finds one, then Storm comes right back and finds Reaper, and we're starting to see Obfuscation come out here and actually kind of stabilize on point. They're picking up some kills. They're using them ultimates. Classy's down. That's a huge kill for them. Down goes Ringleader as well. They have somehow come back from the depths of nowhere, essentially, and have essentially recaptured or restabilized on this point.
Wow, that was phenomenal. I actually didn't think they'd be able to flip it around, but taking use of anything they can do, anything they can grab, and they really kept their cool there. Reaching 94% is no easy task to try and keep your headspace all clear, but Obfuscation really keeping their positions clear. They had their target focus priority really well, and looks like Narwhal is going to be coming in with another barrage of ultimates coming up soon.
Yeah, this is kind of same situation we saw when Narwhal was on defense. They made some swaps. Obfuscation made 4 swaps after that last team fight. Narwhal is coming up on a lot of ultimates here, so we could be potentially looking at the last team fight here if Narwhal's able to do exactly what we saw Obfuscation do. Here comes the Nano on to Classy up there. The Immortality Field does come up. However, Storm Snipe able to find one out early. Ringleader's bomb does find Storm Snipe right back. However, that's the only pick so far for Narwhal right now. Classy kind of in a bad situation. Ringleader, though, takes care of Acra, and Race finds Front, and right now they're picking up kills. Here comes the Flux from Decrypt. They get slept in it, so it's wasted all at that point. Nice sleep there by Reaper. However, Obfuscation is able to keep some contests on this point. Akronami is back there on the point in that ball, trying to do whatever they can. They get slept. We see Krun go back to the Moira, trying to do whatever they can. They don't really live long. Now Diva's back for Obfuscation right now as Decrypt. Here comes Mirage. The Doomfist of Storm Sniper is right there, trying to whatever they can. Storm Sniper falls. There's still one member of Obfuscation on point. They want to make sure they have as much, they can take off as much time as they possibly can right now, and they're doing a good job of that. They are sending one after another right now. They just aren't able to find the kills at the moment. Good shield uses here by Eski. However, it's gone now. They'll probably be gone as soon as I say that. We see Decrypt back into Diva. They're still doing a good job of contesting this. They just haven't been able to find the picks yet. Storm trying to find anyone. However, they lose their own life. Decrypt loses their own life as well. And now I believe Rin is back on point. However, they recall, not able to get back fast enough. 2 minutes in the time bank for them. Obfuscation, though, will have 4:31.
Dog, that was like a 2-minute fight. That was insane. Wow. Obfuscation really making their name here on a defense. So it looks like they're more of a defense team, it even looks like, but holy. Narwhal was not playing bad at all. I guess that was just a case of 2 CP, but both teams really keeping it strong here. No team faltered even for a second. Narwhal found out on the first fight after losing, even just after all of that, but the both teams have really good target prioritization. And I think with the kind of comps that both of them are running, I am a fan of this Spara, because even though if you're not seeing it get too much value technically, what you're doing is you're making it more of a different kind of thing to focus for Obfuscations, who really are playing these, like, they can get those damage boosts, they can get those pulls, those rocks. And you can see Reaper's been like having such a really good time playing around with the Spara as well. Even looks like all that training from looking up to try and heal him really paid off in that sleep dart against that Flux. Just quite the sight to see, but yeah, Narwhal keeping the same comp as last time. They're gonna try and attack with it again. I think it'll work pretty well, but overall, yeah, they're really taking advantage of what they can and can't do against Obfuscation's lineup specifically.
I mean, yeah, they have 2 minutes here to get whatever they can on this first point, plus 30 seconds and the second point if they can cap the first point. So they want to try to do this as fast as they possibly can right now. Obfuscation do the same, starting off the same way they did last time. It didn't necessarily work for them, but it was a little bit better than Narwhal's initial defense. Now we're seeing Akronami here come across, get up with their other tank right now. Both shields down. We actually do see Krun up there taking a short nap. Nice sleep there by, and look at that, Lavender poops off too, and that's a great start for Narwhals here. Classy crew going in. Lavender finds the third right now, and this should be first point going over to Narwhal. Eski, though, able to find Raze, but Lavender comes right back and finds Eski.
I was just saying that Lavender was more of a subtle kind of pick for this comp, but you could see it made it kind of loud right there, getting those double loops, doing the rest of those kills. You're going to be coming up on half of your ultimate, and you might even try looking at comboing it with that Reaper Nano.
Yeah, no big swaps coming out from Obfuscation other than Eski going off of that Zenyatta, now going to the Brigitte instead. A little bit of a better pick for this last point right now, but Narwhal, you know, only really close to that Nano, and they're building it up right now. They have it ready to go. It's gonna probably go on to Classy whenever they are ready to jump in, and they are very low. They need to get this on him. They're able to get that there, and they find one to start it off. They're trying to find more right now. They're jumping onto the high ground, but they whiff on the high ground. They have not gotten a tick yet. That's their main goal here. At least get a tick, have something to show for it. They're able to get a tick right now. Decrypto trying to keep his team in. This dragon comes out from spawn from Rin, who then swaps to a Tracer, but Obfuscation's done a good job of restabilizing here on point. Lavender does find Storm Snipe there at the end. 40 seconds left for Narwhal.
In this last fight, it looks like it is going to be coming down to these ultimates. Obfuscation really making those really smart picks. They're not even going to swap back to something less stally because, oh, okay, it looks like they will. But having not as many ultimates as Narwhal right now may come down to the big hurt that they might receive here. Narwhal especially having that primal to even extend the range of how long a stall can last with this. Storm Snipe does have that Bob though, and I am a big fan of him. So we're going to see how this plays out. They might be able to boot Bob away, but
Classic Crew does have that Primal Rage ready to go, so they can use that to keep themselves alive here. They're trying to jump on that high ground. Nice coach gun coming out there from Storm Snipe. Keeps them off that high ground. Here comes the Barrage though from Lavender. It's looking to be huge. Lavender only finds one before Lavender gets found himself. A stick coming out from Race onto Rin. Storm Snipe though finding Classy out, so no bubble left for them as a shield. Ringleader getting incredibly low as well. Finally gonna get demeched here, so no big tanks left for Narwhal. Ringleader actually somehow took themselves out of the mech there. Eski is able to find them. The damage mix is out from Krun here, trying to do as much as they can. Ground on Flux comes out from Decrypt. I don't know if it caught anyone. Actually caught Lavender out. Reaper falls as well. Lady Mela, really the only one left on point right now. That's a bad place for Emergency to be. Classy is coming back, but it is a 6v1, and they are a ball against an entire team.
Wow. Obfuscation played that perfectly. I mean, that you can't even be mad at that if you're Narwhal. You had a couple ultimates coming in, and you even got some picks with them. But Obfuscation really just plays to their strengths on what their characters could do. I'm again gonna mention this tank line. It's actually just like such. The way they play is not. They really quickened how they moved throughout the map and really took advantage of what they could do in their safe spaces, their comforts of look in each other's sight lines. You could see Narwhal's Tracer go off to that side. They were trying to get healed by the Ana really quick, and they did end up pushing the fight. But what Narwhal's really good at is having that on-site pressure, and this is why these fights last so long. But I think in the end, Obfuscation learned how to play around the Pharah, and I think that's what kind of costed them the extra kind of like on-point damage you could really do.
Yeah, but now Obfuscation has basically double the time that Narwhal Connex did on their attack here. 4.5 minutes will turn into 5 minutes if they're able to cap the first point here, give them an extra 30 seconds. And all they need to do is cap that first point and get 50% on the second point, and they even this series up going into halftime.
Narwhal will have that defense advantage, especially with a Pharah, and they're going to be swapping to these more mobile tanks, specifically a Ball to try and they've realized the Obfuscation have this really hard set way of moving around, and it looks like they're going to try and boop him around, try and get him where they want, make him out in the open for the Lavender to really take advantage of it.
Yeah, Race though being that Tracer in the backline, trying to just pepper in some damage, get their ult charge up a little bit here. Now here comes Classy there, but Race gets found out in the back, so that's already a one big pick down for them. There's no way Lady Mela's gonna go in and try to res that. It would just be certain death right now. Akrami here trying to get on that high ground. Nice. Purple comes out, hits 3 members of Obfuscation there. However, I don't think any of them will fall. Storm Snipe incredibly close. I don't think Classy realized that, as if they would have. Storm definitely would not be living right now. Lavender though, keeping up the pressure, finds Rin, races back and finds Eski right now, and Obfuscation kind of stuck here in this high ground area. Here comes the Barrage, able to find one. Reaver finds Krun, and right now Narwhal X doing the best job we've seen on defense so far.
That was phenomenal. You could see Classy Crew even go through the entire team. You could see how all the team of Obfuscation was in one place, and they didn't even all die necessarily inside of that hallway, but just people outside of it just for a second, people looking around at the wrong person for a wrong second. Narwhal really amping it up here, and they're going to be coming up on 4 ultimates to continue this defense.
Yeah, but speaking of amping it up here, Krun does have that amplification matrix ready to go, and I imagine that's going to be what they use to initiate a team fight here. However, Krun almost falls there, getting really, really close. Classy dives in on that background, only able to get Eski there, not able to kill him though, and now there comes that damage matrix. Everyone on Narwhal having to play around it. Rin finds Race again, not really allowing them to play so far. The immortality field comes out. We see, a huge barrage comes out from Lavender. 3 members of Obfuscation.
Wow.
It forces out the trance from Eski as well. So those 2 huge ultimates basically burn for Obfuscation there in what is essentially is a losing team fight.
And these staggers too, it's just gonna be crucial. Narwhal only winning that with just as few ultimates as possible. Really just Lavender Reaper really putting the team on their back for a moment. Obfuscation gonna come up on a couple ultimates. They are gonna finally swap to a Reinhardt, something more able to smack around these pesky Narwhals. But Narwhal again still have this defense and the defense advantage with their really moving divey characters, and they're really making use of making any space Obfuscation take, just be littered with penalties.
Yeah, Obfuscation, actually half their team swap there. Decrypt goes to the Diva, Eski goes to the Lucio. Bob comes out from Storm Snipe. Storm Snipe, though, falls. Decrypt is able to eat the pulse bomb from Race. That's huge for them. Ringleader throwing a bomb. It does find Eski. Minefields from Classy finds Acronami out there as well. We're about to see Decrypt here get DMAC'd, and it is a bad place to be right now if you're in an Obfuscation. 3 members in that small room, and all 3 members have gone to that forever box.
What a lovely res. Mercy trying to make him out of that forever box, even at the cost of life. And Narwhal coming up on a nano barrage still. You could again see Obfuscation really just try to go right onto the point, but again, it's being out in the open. It's these spaces that Narwhal are really taking advantage of. Obfuscation is going to be swapping to a main now, try and close off some of that space, making their way to point.
Classy almost has another minefield ready to go. Lavender and Race, though, picking up the slack right now. Already 2 members. They're looking for a third. They're gonna find that third. Actually, Reaper finds that third. They get the DMAC. Race does fall, but Classy picks up Rin right after that. And Narwhal has done an incredible job on defense so far.
Yeah, holy smokes. Lavender is really just putting in those rockets, putting in that work, and just this versatile sky point. It looks like it's really hard to deal with. You're not able to be in one spot to shoot him down if you're Storm Snipe, because you got half the other team of Narwhal coming at you, booping you around. So Narwhal really just getting in their heads.
Yeah, Obfuscation now coming into what is essentially the last team fight here. Has no ultimates to go off it. Rin does find Lavender, who was popping the barrage. That's a nice start for them. Minefields out from Classroom now, who's trying to pull people into it. Race finds 2 of their pulse bomb. Ringleader finds one as well. Look at this. Narwhal is coming back here, and they're continuing to find a member of Obfuscation here every second, and that should pretty much do it. Coming from such a large deficit, 4.5 minutes is what they need to defend there on that first point, and we really had not seen anyone that entire map hold a team to 1 minute on that first point.
Volsci is also one of my preferable maps to Temple Nubis because you can do fantastic holds like that. That was a 4-minute full hold. I mean, that it's so impressive from Lavender. You could see throughout the match his presence kind of wane in and out like a beautiful melody of his team. Even though they played an Ashe, even though they played a Cassidy, even though they try to play around that, trying to get rid of that Lavender in the sky, but it really just comes down to the rest of the team of Narwhal really just playing around that Lavender really well. And not only the tank lines specifically, really making use of what space Obfuscation could and could not take. And once you take that away from the control of Obfuscation, you can really kind of see how the DPS followed those kinds of plays. You can see how the supports try to move around it. But in the end, Narwhal, that was really just beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And Obfuscation there, I feel like they kind of waited too long to make some swaps there on their overtime attack there. I think they wanted to see if they could use some of their ultimates there to win a team fight and then make some swaps to what would have been a better comp on that second point. But I just think they waited a little long before they made those swaps on their overtime attack.
They did try going Reinhardt, they did try going Mei, and I think that comp in the end was actually super good. You could see how it really destroyed the barraging Pharah, but I feel like it also would have just killed Pharah even if she wasn't barraging. That was a really good comp, and they did make their way to point, but I think it was a case of too much time. They the rest of the fights, they tried going in that first fight, they tried going in through that tunnel. You could see the ball kind of making moves with that. They didn't have a really proper stun most of the time, I feel like, is why lots of these things kind of happened. But Obfuscation really tried to play their best. They tried going straight to point, they tried going off to the side, they tried going off to the other side. They really did spread their wings out all across this map, but in the end, you can see how much control and how much power Narwhal really had.
Yeah, and Narwhal goes up 2-0 after that. But with that being the end of the second map, we're going into halftime right now. So we'll be back in a little bit with the continuation of Narwhal Con X versus Obfuscation.
'Cause we are gonna live in the sky. Are gonna live in the sky. 事実は小説よりも気なりですね。
All right, welcome back everyone from that halftime break. Narwhal Con X currently on top of Obfuscation 2-0 after 2 maps. We do have some subs and some role swaps coming out from Obfuscation right now. Out goes Acronomy, in comes Minnow for them, and the role swap for them is Crunchy Poo is going to tank Decrypt. Crunchy Poo and Decrypt are swapping roles. Crunchy Poo was a tank before. They'll be going to support, and Decrypt will be going to tank. They were the other support.
Interesting. Okay, and then interesting. Okay, so they're taking off their tank player. I wonder if that means they're gonna swap up their tank comps at all, or if they'll go something more like an Ana for the tank and try and get the nanos onto the tank more. Because last map I could see Narwhal playing a lot of you could see the nano going to the Winston when he jumped in and stuff. So something like that maybe.
Yeah. Maybe they just want to try to make some change here, switch some stuff up here, as it just didn't necessarily work out for them. We do know that our third map will be, as to no one's shock, King's Row.
Let's go. I could see this map every time, but as long as it comes up, I'm happy. The statue is actually my wallpaper right now. It's got the city in the background. Pretty lit.
Nice, the futuristic city of London.
Yep, they're pretty innovative.
Yeah, pretty innovative over there in the Great Britain area. But right now, I mean, King's Row, everyone knows what King's Row is. It's Scrim's Row. It's a brawl map through and through. Do we see any of the teams here try to come out and do something different?
They could play dive tanks really well. They could play even double shield. So it's going to be exciting. The last time we saw a brawl was the Ryan Diva on the first map of Control, but they might not go Ryan Diva necessarily for King's Row, but I do kind of hope that Reinhardt will be in here. Maybe they'll play a full more like China Lucio, China Window with a Baptiste, trying to get around the map, make use of utility. But I would also not be surprised if we saw Mercy or Ana from the either of these teams.
And even before the map even starts, we have our second pause of the night. I
Well,
mean,
you never know. They did make some swaps, so they're probably talking
mhm.
about what they're gonna play, especially for King's Row, which is although everyone in their heart knows it's that brawl map, but it also makes it a kind of an opportunity to play whatever you want. You could probably see that Pharah come up again, perhaps. Both teams playing a Mei and Sim as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they could go TP, trying to get around the point, trying to get onto that high ground above the point if you're attacking. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff you can sort out. How do you want to strat out? How would you go about, or what do you usually play on King's Row?
I mean, normally when I play King's Row, I try to do the dumbest stuff possible because it always catches someone off guard. So I would be looking at possibly an AC 130 strat
Oh,
coming out here, get Bastion on top of the Mondada statue, and rain in just bullets from above. Try to get that going. But honestly, at this point, Obfuscation has their backs against the wall here. They're one map loss away from losing the overall series. Uh, Even though we'll play a fourth map, even if they do lose this third one. But they want to try to have one win in that win column after tonight. And this is a good place to start. They chose this map, so they feel very confident about it. So I just really think we're going to see some traditional brawl comps come out from at least Obfuscation.
that's true. This is their comfort map. So far what we've seen, both teams are really good at going head to head. Both teams can, I assume, play a dive pretty well. Obfuscation, we haven't actually seen too heavy of a dive, other than just on those stalls and stuff from Volskaya. But hmm, if that means that Narwhal gets to choose whether they attack or defend again, right? Or
Yeah, Narwhals will be able to pick what they are doing again. I imagine it will probably be on the defensive side, but much like that first pause, it turns out that the issue is a little bit more complicated than what we were hoping that it was. So we're going to take another quick break and jump right back into the start of King's Row when we get back. All right, and like we said, we're going to hop right back into it as the game was getting started here. Y'all have not missed anything yet because really nothing has happened yet.
And that's the perfect way. It's just an extended little intro. Just imagine the hero select screen lasting just a couple minutes longer. Really gets teams thinking about what exactly they want to play. Looks like they're going to be going a Junkrat on the defense and a very utility-based support lineup for Narwhal.
Yeah, and we're seeing Lavender run straight up to the door right now and put their trap there. I mean, Crunchy Poo realizes that right away, so that's not going to be there much longer than that. But Obfuscation coming out with what I really thought we'd see him come out with, a traditional kind of brawl comp that we normally see here on King's Row. Narwhal, on the other hand, not going with the Mei, instead going with the Junkrat, which I kind of find interesting.
I do hope it destroys these walls. It'll probably stop the Doomfist from being able to dive wherever he wants to. Of course, both teams running the same support lineup does mean that, along with their tanks, these rotations are going to be wild.
Yeah, and Lavender's going to try to get rid of that shield for Crunchy Poo out here incredibly early, and they're already doing a good job of that, as now that shield is gone. They're trying to do whatever they can to get it back. The Immortality field already down and dusted for Narwhal, but Lavender finds Storm Snipe out first with one of their mines. However, they put Obfuscation here, already get one tick. Crunchy Poo is trapped. They got 2 ticks right now. Narwhal has just completely forgotten about the point. They're just going for kills right now. Already 75%, but we're starting to see him race. Picks up 2 straight kills for them right now. Lady Mela picks up Rin, and Race going after Eski there, trying to pick him up before they were able to escape.
That was a pretty scary defense, coming up on a ton of ult charge for just not being on the point, and they weren't even that far away from the point too. That was the scary part for me. They were just kind of right in front of the team. They were staring down Obfuscation as they got those 2 ticks, and now they have the ultimates to back up the rest of this defense.
Yeah, Reaper has that down, ready to go here. So does Decrypt, so we might be seeing dueling damage matches coming out here, and we are. A bomb from Ringleader just hitting their finds too. But we see Storm Snipe come back and get rid of Classy, but the bomb has already done so much damage. Wraith pops their high noon there, doesn't find anyone with it. So I kind of want to say that was a little bit of a wasted ultimate there, because they could have used that here in their next engagement, but Lavender has that tire, and Classy is going to have their Shatter ready to go.
What? That bomb, some may call it a goofy-ass bomb. That was beautiful, dude. The lamp was there, it was deceiving, but alright. Both teams having a shatter, both teams having ultimates. Looks like they're going to try and back away from this tire.
Tire is out from Lavender, and it finds 3. Once that Immortality field was gone, and a team kill gonna come out here from Narwhal, but they're actually staggering Minolar here, who is getting really close to being able to remech, but Ringleader decides just to punch them to their own grave there.
Wow, what a defense from Narwhal. This Junkrat's really packing in the power that they need to really stop Obfuscation. You haven't seen this Doom get too much value, but Obfuscation coming up on several ultimates, and it looks like they only have a beat to defend.
Yeah, Storm Snipe able to find a punch here, going after Minolar right now. Look, there's 2 ultimates already coming out for Obfuscation right now. They're trying to get this last tick going their way, but Lady Mela picks out Minolar, so that bomb's not going to be usable for them. Storm misses on that punch there, and Narwhal continues to pick up kill after kill. Nothing from that meteor strike there. However, Obfuscation starting to pick up some kills now. Another bomb just left there by Ringleader. Won't really do anything or have the same punch did last time, as Crunchy was actually able to get them or take out Ringleader before they're able to remech there. Reaper does find 1, but Minolar comes right back, and now we're seeing Narwhal just trying to contest this as long as he can. Bomb from Minolar finds 2, but Classic is still on point. With them falling though, that should be the first point going over to Obfuscation.
I am happy with that. Even as a Narwhal fan, I love seeing these 2 teams go head-to-head. Both of them are very similar in their style, and it really just comes down to these very minute differences in skills in these fights. You can really see the Doom having all that presence, as you can see early in that fight. Even though he didn't get those kills, he didn't necessarily connect. He moves around the team where he wanted them to move, and the rest of the team was able to take advantage of that, especially when you've got Rin on the make. He's going to be coming up on a Blizzard here. They'll probably try and use it. Both Ryans probably know they have Shatter, so it's going to be coming down to who ults first.
Yeah, here comes the Blizzard from Obfuscation here. Actually, to kind of use it as a little bit of a tool. However, I believe Crunchy Poo's Shatter there got blocked by their own Mei, and it all goes downhill from there. A team kill is going to come out here, other than Eski, who was on the cart. but smartly wall rides away from the oncoming steamroll that was the Narwhal team.
I suppose ulting first, it doesn't mean you get the fight. But both teams using quite a bit of ult, but Narwhal is going to be coming out on top here. They probably might actually try and combo this window with something, maybe even possibly the high noon. But Obfuscation really taking this high ground fight to him.
Yeah, this could be an interesting fight. Lavender wants to rain in some damage right now. They're able to actually get that that Ryan off the high ground. The high noon comes out from Race, actually able to get some help there from, I believe, Eski, who booped them up into the air. And again, Narwhal just absolutely wiping the floor with Obfuscation right now.
It was very hard for Obfuscation to get that first point. It did take them quite some time, but now they're trying to make these different. They're kind of on Volskaya again. They're choosing all different ways they can go about this map. It looks like they're going to try and funnel down this first, this main point, just trying to go to the payload, and they'll really be able to max the usage of this window here.
Damage matrix comes out. They're actually able to get Ringleader there, but Lavender has that tire ready to go. They're wanting to be as big as their last one was. Time is running out on it, though. However, they are able to find one. Race finds one just before that, so already 2 members of Obfuscation down. And look at this. Connex is really wanting to get aggressive here, forcing Obfuscation back into their own point at the moment.
I'm kind of surprised. I'd assumed that Middlear would be able to eat up more of Lavender's shots, really just try and prevent his ult charge from charging up so fast, but it looks like everything is just super hard to do right now with the ways these teams are moving. It's super fast.
Shatter only finds one. Storm Snipe's High Noon doesn't find anyone with that. The beat from Lady Mel doing what it needed to do there. Classy, though, finds 3 with that Shatter, and they're confirming all 3 kills. Ringleader, with help from Classy, they're able to take care of Rin, and now 25 seconds left to go, and it is going down at a rapid pace. Obfuscation is running out of time.
Classy Crew has been a Shatter god each and every game, and coming up on with the bomb in the window is going to be pretty good for a defense. Obfuscation is coming up on that beat, so they do have some momentum they can gain here. It is going to be, again, tricky to play around this junk grab, which has been, it seems, the main core kind of thing for them, but this is a really good point for their wall.
Here comes the bomb from Ringleader. It's kind of going a little bit too far. Ooh, that charge there from Classy Crew could have been huge there. Shatter comes out, I believe. Actually, no. Lavender finds 2. Here comes the bomb from Obfuscation. It catches out 2, keeping this at a pretty even fight. Eski finds Classy right now. That's a huge pick for them. It's in overtime now. They can knock it off the car. The tire comes out from Lavender. Doesn't find anyone. Nice ice block there from Rin. But we do see the D-Mech come out there on the Middlear, and they're trying to do their best, but Lavender's bombs do more damage than D.Va's pistol. Overtime has commenced now. It has been commenced for a little bit. Rin with a nice headshot. They're on to Lavender, and they're getting really close to this to the second point.
Finally, the May is coming out. That point is really good for their comp they're running, and they finally got it through. It's gonna be really hard to continue it.
Huge Shatter, and finds 3. Classic Crew already able to confirm 1. Immortality Field comes up. Now we have the damage matrix from Decrypt, trying to keep Obfuscation in this fight. The Blizzard comes out from Rin, or not. It doesn't necessarily freeze anyone, but they continue to pick up kill after kill. Now they just have to confirm the last couple of kills of Narwhal members that are still around the carpet right now, but we're seeing them start to fall back, and they get that second point, giving them an additional 90 seconds here.
Obfuscation really going with their comfort map, and it looks like they're so comfortable in it that they're just fine with waiting until overtime to make it to each of these points, and it is working. Making their way to this last point, you can really make use of these walls once again, and the Junkrat for Lavender is going to be having a way less range of utility here on this point. He's going to be up on that high ground, it looks like. Oh no, that's D.Va.
Shatter comes out from Crunchy Poo, only able to find 3 of it. No one falls for immediately. Now that damage matrix comes out, Crunchy Poo's actually in a good position in front of that one, can block all the damage from going through it. Nothing coming from it right now. Actually, D-Max and Immortality Field's the only thing coming down. Stormslipe finds Ringleader there. High Noon from Stormslipe comes out. He knows that tire's coming out. That one doesn't find anything. Lavender's tires have not been hitting the same punch as they were originally, but now Narwhal starting to pick up this team fight here, continue to pick off members of Obfuscation, already half down. Make it 4, make it 5, make it 6, and that's a nice team wipe there for Narwhal. 25 seconds left for Obfuscation.
This is going to be a scary last fight. Narwhal does have these very important, crucial ultimates, but what they don't have is their support ults, and most importantly, Lady Mela does not have a beat for either Rin's Blizzard or the bomb coming in, so both teams really going to have to take advantage of what they have here.
Yeah, that bomb could be huge here. A nice combo could be what we see from it. High Noon coming out from Race. Just trying to find anyone. It does find one. The shatter from Classy, I think, finds a couple, but the bomb from Ringleader finds one. Look at this Narwhal starting to pick up kill after kill. There's a bomb now from Obfuscation comes out, but it won't matter as Minolar falls from it, and no one on that point for Obfuscation. A really, really good push for them, considering they had a long push in overtime on that second point.
That was amazing. I'm really proud of them for getting it that far. It looked like they did wait until overtime for each fight, and apparently until at the end you're not going to be able to do that all the way through. But getting it this far was phenomenal for the way that Narwhal played around Lavender, specifically on the Junkrat. I mean, you could see they did keep the defense instead of Zarya for Minolar, trying to eat up what he could, but the amount of shots and just the ultimate focus from Lavender was just crucial. It was really hard to dive him. The rest of the team played around him really well. It was hard to like cut him off if you're Mei trying to wall him off. So they really did make use of what they could pick apart. What they could pick apart was really trying to play around the Reinhardt more so. You could see in that last fight again another shatter, but playing around the Reinhardt, trying to make what you can do about the because once you've got that, you've got the focus of Lavender, and with that you can start getting onto the rest of the team. Probably mostly the sports, but again, Kings Row is a very composite map. People play very close together, usually all of the time. So it looks like Lavender is going to try and play around that, make some distance with their DPS to start off with.
Yeah, we're seeing Raze come out on the Widowmaker right here. I imagine it's going to be to try to find a quick pick. Same thing with Lavender. Maybe just try to figure out where they or the Obfuscation team is, and they're able to get some information from that recon arrow there. Raze, though, going to try to find a headshot and will immediately fall back down to the ground and go to that Cassie instead. Lavender going to stick with this Junkrat right now. I actually really like the pick, considering how well they played Junkrat on their defensive hold.
It's going to be crazy on attack here. Obfuscation does have that defense advantage, but they are going to pop an Immortality field pretty early.
Yeah, so that Immortality field gone, but Ringleader also gets out of their mech early as well. Classy Crew almost gets taken down there, but Crunchypoo actually the one you have to be worried about there, as they were really, really low. Another Immortality field already down for Narwhal, and same could be said for Classy Crew there. But almost one tick there they were able to get, but a crush kill coming out from Ringleader onto Eski. Herbert, Obfuscation, you're doing a good job continuing to pick off members of Narwhal here. Eski will be able to get back fast because they are Lucio. Narwhal had to fall back and regroup.
This is interesting. Obfuscation's holding almost the exact same kind of strat that Narwhal did on the first defense, going into that corner, letting them take some point progress, but not giving up the fight. Looks like they're going to start off with the tire, though.
Yeah, they're Lavender here trying just to tease them with it. It comes in. Nice play there by Decrypt. That tire has not been really worth it since that first one, but look at Lavender coming right in. He doesn't need the tire. He has bombs himself. But a bomb from Minolar is gonna not actually find anyone there. How did that not find anyone? I'm trying to figure that out right there. But right now we're starting to see Narwhal get the point here. I imagine we're gonna probably see a full point cap here, and Obfuscation's gonna contest Narwhal here at Arches.
You could see in HC quality how reflexive Narwhal is. Even if these tires don't go off, they're not even riding it their entire like, oh, the fight's gonna win if we land this tire. They got the rest of the team there. They can see the screen. They can dodge that Diva Bomb, and they're gonna be coming up on a crucial ultimates that Obfuscation does not really have an answer for. They do have that Cassie behind it, and they do have that window though. This point is not over.
Yeah, High Noon's ready for both teams. Shatter ready for Narwhal. Here comes the damage mix though from Obfuscation. It is forcing Narwhal to respect, but a huge Shatter finds two. Already one confirmed from an Immortality field's coming out from each side there. Will keep some of their members alive, but Narwhal is coming out on top early in this one. And Classy Crew just absolutely like a bull in a china shop there, taking care of Eski and Storm Snipe.
Now this is where I'd be debating about running a Zarya with you, Ryan, if you're Crunchypoo. It is going to be coming up on that shatter, it is going to be coming up on that beat, but so far, Narwhal has been really good at making these fights last one time and then taking a ton of point progress, a ton of space away from Obfuscation to set up for another fight. Looks like they're going to be having advantage in ults, so it's going to be see how this is used.
Damage coming out, bomb comp coming out from Ringleader. It only finds that immortality field. They're going for the crush kill, not able to get it. Classic Crew falls early. Lavender, though, able to find Rin. And here comes the tire, but the Fire Strike gets rid of it. And calculated Fire Strike coming out from Crunchy Poo there, but not able to pick up anything else after that as Race takes him out. Lavender, though, continues to do more with the grenades that are firing out of their gun than the grenade that's in a tire.
I am I'm a little bit bewildered. The sense that Lavender is emitting right now, it's pretty potent, and both teams coming into this last fight with like a few ultimates, but that last fight as well, even though Narwhal had the advantage in ultimates, Obfuscation was able to do a good job of playing around that. You could even see the Fire Strike on that tire, but it looks like just like Narwhal are really taking the comfort of the map to the next level.
Yeah, but now we only saw Obfuscation here have 90 seconds to try to get as much as they could at this point. Narwhal has over 4 minutes, so they have a couple fights they can lose here. Shatter comes out, it finds two. Ringleader finds one, Race finds one with their own high noon. Here comes a tire looking to pack some punch, and finally packs some punch. They find a kill there. Classic Crew able to find out punching Poo there, and Narwhal continues just to pick off members of Obfuscation here. And barring some late swaps here and some contests, actually no contests now from Obfuscation, and Narwhal will take the series, but there is still one more map to go.
That was a classic moment right there, but holy moly. Yeah, we gotta take a look at Classy's play. Classy has been a detrimental obstacle for Obfuscation right now. You see these shatters left, right, and center. A block into it.
Block into it, a pin, and then he's just swinging that hammer like I swung a wiffle ball bat when I was 5.
And that's the way to do it if you want to win a King's Row match with 4 minutes on that last point. Holy smokes, dude. I mean, Obfuscation did a really good job at holding that first point. They tried to hold it the same way Narwhal did, letting them get that progress, and then trying to have something to say about with those fights. But again and again and again, you could see in that top right of your screen, Lavender getting these picks left and right, dude. It wasn't even the tires. Some of them died, but comboing it with the windows as well. Just a lot of grenades coming in that Obfuscation couldn't really deal with if they wanted to play it together, which I think they kept trying to play around together, but you could see over and over again how that worked out for them against Narwhal. But it was, again, kind of a reference to the first match with that sim popping off a lot. Again, Classy and the synchronization with the tanks is what makes these head-to-heads so much more lethal for Obfuscation. Trying to take down that Reinhardt. For King's Row specifically, if you're gonna take out one member of a team that is all grouped up, you're gonna have to get ready to take on everyone who supports them. And you can see Obfuscation like on one of the points they tried to use Immortality Field really early because they knew just how powerful Narwhal was. But Narwhal, smart as well, really reflexive. And for this next map, it's going to be very interesting to see how Obfuscation adapts their team comp to it, because they are pretty good at playing a wide range of characters, just choosing the right ones at the right time for what's going on with Lavender.
Yeah, and we do know what the next and final map of tonight will be. We'll be going to Waltz Point, Gibraltar here on the last map here. A straight escort map. You can see a couple different comps come out, especially on this first point. Maybe you have a comp that wants to dive on that high ground if the defense is playing up there, or you have one that just tries to force the defense onto your own level.
Yeah, this is an utter playground. You can go on the high grounds. You can go anywhere you want. You can split up your team even, going everywhere. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see the divas specifically, who have not really gotten to have as much like on that last map on King's Row. I mean, those bombs back and forth, they were just making my day. But you're gonna get to see more than just ultimates for the divas to really shine here. I think they are both gonna have one. So. Maybe even a Lucio as well if you want to get around fast, but it is a playground.
Yeah, it's absolutely a playground. And, Narwhals know they've won this series. Maybe they come out and, maybe potentially make some picks that are a little bit off comp here a little bit. Try to have some fun. Obfuscation, though, on the other hand, I imagine they want to try to take a map, so we might see them come out and play a serious comp, or maybe Narwhal just wants to 4-0 them right here and call it a night.
This is an ego match. I'm all for ego matches, man. It's gonna be pretty exciting to see. Probably no, unfortunately no AC 130 strat is possible for this map, but this does look like a pretty delicious map. It's going to be exciting to see what kind of DPS picks as well, because they did see an Ashe before, which is really good on this map. If you want to coach gun up, throw a Bob. It looks like it's going to be more focusing on the DPS here because of the tanks doing their jobs elsewhere and people not necessarily always having to be as grouped up.
Yeah, and we're already kind of seeing, well, we're looking at the comps right now. Obfuscation coming out, what seems to be, in my opinion, a good comp for what they expect to see on the high ground. Narwhal coming out, and it seems like they want this to be a little bit of a competitive match as well. Lavender on the Torb is the one player I would say we kind of have to look out for, but Torb actually does work on this first point, but really only on the first point, in my opinion.
That's true. Lavender on the Torb is going to be a scary feat, especially if you're running dive into him. But Stormflight running that Widow. Oh, they're all going to TP around as well. Just trying to find some wide angle picks here.
Yeah, Rin immediately swaps off to that Tracer, so they're not going to stick with the Sim this time. But everyone on Narwhal X seems to be in that small room right there, just kind of protecting the turret at this point and letting it do a lot of damage. However, look at Rin on the ground right there, just kind of pushing the cart by themselves. As you know, their teammates are dying in a fight on the high ground, but they're doing a good job just pushing this cart. No really real contest as of yet. Now we finally see one. Race does pick up Storm to start off all the killing here, and we see Rin run away with their life for the moment because of Tracer versus a Winston is not a favorable match for that Tracer.
Narwhal again, extraordinary reflexive. They're bringing in their same energy from last match, playing really close together, and really basically again, yeah, playing around this turret more so. In Obfuscation, they are able to do a little coordinated dive. They were also pushing that cart here, so where they drop off of is going to be.
Yeah, we saw Rin there go right back to that point before we swapped over here to Lady Mela, who's just flailing that flail around on the high ground, hitting as many people as they can, healing a lot of their team. Raze finds Crunchy. The turret is down for Narwhal right now, but Raze continues just to pick up kill after kill. Storm Snipe doing what their name says there and sniping Raze off of this plane of existence for the moment. But look at Rin. Rin is trying to C9 this, please. Please, no, Rin, stay on the... Oh, never mind. Actually, you know, 4 members of Narwhal running at you is probably a good reason to run away. But they have pushed this point up to a very respectable distance so far, and one good teamfight win for Obfuscation here should be able to get them this point.
Making use of these infra sites is going to be key for where exactly they want to dive and how they want to go about it. When you got a brig, you're not really able to go necessarily to those high ground strengths as much as you want, but I think rushing the supports or anybody else on the ground here, Narwhal is all on the ground because of how far that payload got, so.
As you say that, Classy jumps up onto the high ground to kind of mess with Obfuscation. There's the wall hacks coming out for Storm Snipe here, but a lot of the ultimates are ready for Narwhal. We're seeing 2 pop off here. We see the Nano come on to Classy, the Visor come out from Race. Race does find Rin to start everything off. Here comes the bomb from Ringleader, not able to find anyone as they were hiding behind servers right there. Obfuscation now popping the rally, gonna keep up a lot of members of their team up. Storm gets absolutely triple teamed there by 3 members of by Narwhal. However, Crunchy Poo does find Race, and Obfuscation still very much in this fight at the moment. They just need to start converging on the point. The Nano now on to Crunchy Poo, who jumps on that high ground. They're trying to get rid of that turret there. Swap or trade coming out there right now. Eski down, Lavender down for their respective teams. A bomb coming out from Middlelar, not able to find anyone, but does do its job. They're trying to push the cart a little bit forward. Narwhal, though, picks up 2 straight kills, trying to make it 3 right now. Middlelar is going to get demech'd here, and I don't imagine Middlelar is going to be alive much longer.
Another stagger on some Middlelar, just like from the King's Show first point, but Obfuscation really good at being coordinated, and they're going to swap to an Echo, which is going to be ultimately way more useful for the entire comp they're using. You're going to try and find, again, any open players that they can try and take advantage of has usually ended up facing the entire team of Narwhal. They're really good at peeling for each other, they're really good at playing around each other, and they still are contesting this high ground. It's a little unbelievable.
Yeah, 15 seconds left to go for Obfuscation, though. They need to think about getting to that cart. However, a nice sleep comes on to Classy Crew, who was nattered, and a nice flail there from Eski keeps them away at the moment. However, that card is a long way away, and they need someone to touch it right now. We do see a final touch come in there right just before the clock hits 0. Lavender finds Crunchy Poo before everything gets started with their turn, and Race has another visor here. Really gonna use it just as a defensive visor to try to keep everyone from Obfuscation away from the point. They do have some ultimates ready to go, but will they be able to use them to really any success at the moment? Storm Snipe falls. Crunchy Poo pops the Primal Rage there, trying to get back to that card as fast as they can. They're actually able to get back. Eski those falls. Decrypt, really the only support now alive for Obfuscation. Does pop the nano on to Crunchy Poo, who dies immediately after getting it. Worst case scenario there for them, and Lavender's going for a hammer kill and they get it.
Wow, congratulations, Lavender. That was a fantastic hold. That Torpig threw Obfuscation for loops on loops. They tried running a wheel, they tried running Echo, they tried... the high ground was still contested from Narwhal even after the card got all that way, and it's just with 2 tanks. That Ononade from I believe Reaper or Lady Mela, that was a really detrimental purple onto the rest of the team, slowing down that progress even further. But again, Obfuscation really trying to find a place to find any vulnerabilities for Narwhal, but I think that's kind of where the issue lies. Spending all that time waiting to try and find a mistake from Narwhal when Narwhals look to be pretty flawless. They really are demanding a fight, a head-to-head kind of approach here, and so if Obfuscation doesn't take these fights as a 1v6, kind of 1v6, but for like each player, it's gonna be kind of tough to defend this. But you are gonna come up on almost the same kind of. They are running that Torb, so I think they'll try and play around that, just as it worked so well for them.
Yeah, but Narwhal was the ones that showed it off first, so maybe they know how to beat it a little bit better than Obfuscation did. But Obfuscation doesn't need to get all the way to that first point. All they really need to do is get close to it, and they 4-0. I mean, Narwhal only needs to get to that first point, and they 4-0 Obfuscation here.
It's gonna be interesting. I mean, they do have that hammer kill on their back running into this attack, and Lavender's gonna be going Hanzo, trying to go a little sonar spot. Okay, they're gonna be running that Far Mercy combo from Volskaya.
Interesting. I do like it, especially with that turret down there. They should be able to get rid of it right now, but we're seeing the Diva and the Winston over there trying to protect it. However, not able to protect it well enough as it falls there. Nice boop from Lavender there to get, I believe that was the 2 supports for Obfuscation off that high ground, and now they're making the slow trek back to get up close to their tanks.
This is pretty interesting. They're not even going to try and contest the high ground as much as they contested on that defense. Just sending as minimal players as possible, and it seems to be doing God's work.
Yeah, speaking of God's work right now, Ringleader going in after this Torb of Storm Snipe, and we see the Tracer again trying to push this car as long as they can, but the only difference is this time Narwhal is absolutely ahead of their pusher right now. We're seeing Rin try to do their best just to contest it, try to have some of their teammates get back out into this fight. However, as they come back out into this fight, they are running in to the Narwhal wall.
Wow. That horn just piercing straight through Obfuscation. Gonna add a loss to their records and a clean 4-0 from Narwhal. That was good.
Yeah, Narwhal with this win improves their record to 500 on the season, 2-2. Obfuscation sadly does fall to 0-4 on the season so far. But they did look at times to be a scary team. It just seemed like Narwhal though had all the answers in this one.
That was a sick hammer kill. I'm glad we got to see the highlight. But yeah, no, Obfuscation really not. I wouldn't say they're a bad team, or I was really grateful that we got to see 4 matches of these teams go head to head. Especially that each fight really said a lot about the teams, because they're both really good at playing grouped together, which is really key. And they're really good at target priority. They're really good at like following through the map, following through the fight. Like if both teams have a piano, you can walk up and play a little tune on it, and that's fantastic. But what Obfuscation ended up trying to do and trying to really commit to is taking advantage of any weaknesses from Narwhal, which they again and again showed that they did not have any, which does not mean that you can't win against them. It just means that you have to go a little bit of a different approach towards attacking them and defending from them, and grouping up and grouping up and like going around people dispersing was something again that Narwhal was really fantastic at. They're really good at reflexes, but Obfuscation is also not bad at that. I feel like they can recognize those moments. Their ultimate economy is respected. That they're really good at their ability usage as well. But again, I think just going around how you want to necessarily go about attacking is kind of what it came down to.
Yeah, let me just say this right now, though. Sorry, Obfuscation, for picking you guys. Sorry for cast cursing you. When in doubt, just always blame me for everything. But yeah, honestly, I agree with everything you said there. Obfuscation just really kind of struggled with how they played Narwhal. They always tried to play to their counters, but it didn't necessarily work out for them in the end because Narwhal's team play was just a little bit better than what Obfuscation was showing us.
It's true. Again, the kind of aspects like Obfuscation had really good like the how they wanted to go about things. Like once a fight started, they could win it pretty like swiftly and stuff. But when it the Reinhardt from Narwhal, what a giga chat! I just have to say, because it was taking away the DPS spotlight almost half the time. But again, just playing it so synchronously with each other. Obfuscation, it's going to be really hard to go about that unless you go something more head to head. It seems against Narwhal specifically, but overall they're really good at diving.
Yeah, but that will do it for us here tonight. Narwhal Con X 4-0's Obfuscation here. It was a great series overall. Remember to tune in tomorrow, as again there'll be another Trank game going on at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Times, or 6 o'clock West Pacific Standard Time if we're in EST or EDT at the moment. But that will be the Arctic Foxes taking on Frost Fissure. Remember, that is tomorrow night at 9 o'clock EST. Any final words, Mick Missile?
I'm a huge fan of both of these teams as symbols. I just want to throw that out there. Obfuscation, I don't think they're gonna keep necessarily losing. I think they learned a lot from this game in particular. Because seeing such a mirrored kind of matchup and then seeing it kind of like not work, it's like, how'd that happen? It's like, well, and so I think they'll be able to learn some moves from how Narwhal fancifully went around about poking their horn into them. So I think GG for both.
Yeah, GG's for both, but horns up as we have been seeing it in the chat tonight. Again, thank you everyone for coming out to Trank tonight. Remember to tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. to watch another great Trank game. I've been Dexatron. That is Big Mick Missile. Thank you to Hippie, our producer, and all of our observers tonight. And I hope you all have a great night.
Woo.